Hi guys, my name is Preston Taylor, and for my sped talk I'm going to show you how to make an HTTP request using VBA. So what we have here is a VBA spreadsheet that has some data for, in this case, a water pump that belongs to the Mesa, Arizona Water District. And what we want to do is we want to post that data to a remote server that will then insert it into a remote database. So first thing we need to do is open our developer tab and go to Visual Basic. Here I have a module that's going to help us form this request, send it, and then get the response back. The first thing we need to do is make sure we have some extra tools enabled. These are libraries that come with VBA, and some of them you can install from the web. So the two that we're going to need are the WinHTTP services and Microsoft Internet Controls. They will show up alphabetized in this list. Once they're checked, they'll show up at the top. Okay, so we have those, so let's hit OK. And we're going to need a couple things to make this request happen. So first thing we need to do is we need to have our server URL ready to go. Mine is actually in a range inside my workbook under localhost, but you could hard code it here. Next thing we are going to need is data. So I actually have a helper function to create my data string, which I do here. And now we get into creating our request object and sending our request. So we're going to create our object here. It's a WinHTTP request object. I've named it HTTP rec. The open method is going to take three parameters. The first one tells us what type of request. This is going to be a post. The second one is where we pass it our URL. And then the third one, in this case, denotes that it's going to be an asynchronous call. Next, we need to set the request header content type. This is going to help the server understand what's being posted. So we have that here. And then the send method, we pass our data string and it sends it. Down here we can just declare a string to catch our response, and from there we can do whatever logic we want to handle any errors. So I'll show you how it looks on the back end in my node server. So this particular request is going to post to insert pump test, which we'll call this controller here. This controller in the future will do some more data validation, but for now it's just going to call the model, which is this file over here. This file prepares the SQL query, the parameterized data from the post, and then executes that query and comes back to the controller. So I'll show you how that's going to work from start to finish through Excel. So again, we have some data here specifying which pump we're going to insert into. This is going to help us find the right pump on the database. And then we have our, in this case, just one test. So looks like everything's ready to go. We hit insert pump data. I have it show me the data string. This is for debugging. Hit OK. You can see here under failed test inserts we don't have any. So let's check the database. Here's the node server. It says returned from data model successfully. And then if we look at our pump test table, we have a new entry here. And if we wanted to, we could duplicate that row, hit it again, hit OK, query this again, and we have a new So, thanks guys. This is how I'm making HTTP requests to my node server using Excel VBA, and so far it's been pretty easy and it's worked out pretty well. Thanks again.